She had some SA allegations, and so people have been talking about that. At every school she's been to, she's had women come out and say that they were assaulted.
Well, why we not talking about that? I want to learn because we talk. No, hell no, hell no. Because if it was a male athlete who was accused of SA, we would be doing a deep dive.
So one of WNBA's top prospects is foregoing this year's draft. In a bold move, Notre Dame's Olivia Miles announced that she's also entering the transfer portal, deciding to part ways with Neil Ivey in the Fighting Irish program. Rodney, Miles was projected to go number 2 overall to the Seattle Storm. Why do you think that she's making the decision to stay in college and go to another school?
For the love of money, people will shoot their own brother. It doesn't make sense, right? Like, it really doesn't make sense to lose out on so much money that you leave to go to the WNBA. Now, I hear people say that, well, she can get those same endorsements and sponsorships and take them to the WNBA. Not entirely true. So the thing about being a collegiate athlete and being an elite collegiate athlete is you get a lot of local vendors who want to support your brand and business, right? And so on a national level, I do not know how much her brand is worth in comparison to being able to make money off of maybe like 5 or 10 different vendors all within like a major metropolitan city for a major university. I think that is sorely overlooked. The base salary for a WNBA rookie is somewhere around $75,000 or $76,000. Right. So that's not enough. That's just not enough of an additional amount of money, especially if I had to now pay rent. I got a swath of bills I got to pay. Like that money is pretty much gone from the moment that I sign on. And so I think it makes total financial and business sense. I believe also there's going to be a collective bargaining, another CBA that's going to happen after this WNBA season. That rookie pay scale is going to go up. So this is a really smart move by a young woman.
Yeah, I think I was more surprised at her hitting the portal.
Yep,
I was like, dang, I'm like, okay. And I looked on On3, and she doesn't have a lot of brand deals right now, according to like they couldn't even give like a numeric value where like if you go and look at like Flage or any of the top page, like, you can see like, okay, they bringing in like $1 million, but you didn't even see that. And she's a star, and they were once the number 1 team in the country at one point. So I think that is really interesting. I'm not really sure what they got going on in South Bend. I don't know, but y'all need to pick it up because she was your star player and she wasn't even really making money. So for her to say, I'm going to go elsewhere, I don't know. Where do you think that she should go, though?
I think she should go to USC. I think with Juju being out for the year, more than likely with that ACL tear, there's an opportunity to come right in, fill that spot, be a star in the city of stars. There's a lot of money out here in Los Angeles. This city, if you are a winner, if you are elite, does nothing other than blow up your brand. And I feel like that would be the best opportunity for her to maybe miss out on to maybe get what she missed out on in Notre Dame by not making a lot of money via NIL. And we talked about this we had a conversation about this earlier this year several times. We talked about it a couple weeks ago in talking about Jaden Daniels and Juju Watkins, even, right? Like the star power, like because you are a big star in women's college basketball does not automatically mean that your brand is so grandiose. And we were talking about Juju Watkins, who was at USC then. So for her to be as big of a name in the sport as she is and to still not be generating money means that there is quite a disparity still in women's college basketball and women's basketball as a whole.
Yeah. And I do feel like that could be, like I said, I don't know what's going on within that athletics department, but even like when I was in Nashville, I'd sat down with the AD at Vanderbilt and she's like, look, we are literally creating an entire department for NIL. There's no reason why teams aren't doing that. And we see that holds a lot of value when you look at the college football championship. Those were the 2 teams that paid the most in NIL, and they're winning. So if you're not doing that, you're really behind the 8 ball. I did want to bring up an article that I just read about Dejanay Carrington actually blasting the narrative that NCAA NIL deals are out earning WNBA money. And you just talked about it, but it was specifically from her.
Yeah, I think Dejanay, sometimes people can't look outside of their own experiences And I feel like Dejanay is a very specific brand. She's a beautiful, beautiful woman, right? Like she has a WNBA storyline dating one of her competitors. There was a moment this season we saw on the court. So she may have more opportunities than the average WNBA player.
Right.
But you have to have so many different things going on in order to be worth a certain amount of sponsorship and brand investment. Whereas in college, you just got to be on a really good team and be a really good player, which I think is a lot easier to do than being in the WNBA. Because I don't even know what Dejanay Carrington's stats were this year. Do you? Do you know how she performed? I'm not trying to be funny, but
I can look that up.
Yeah, but you don't know it off top, so you don't even know
No,
where she ranks, how she played exactly, right? But you know her brand. Whereas when we talk about Olivia Miles, we're talking about somebody who was one of the top 3 basketball players in all the women's college basketball, and she's still not making the kind of money that she's deserving of this past season. Yeah. So in college, I feel like you have so much opportunity to really cash in on being elite as opposed to cashing in because of all the other things that are going on around you away from the court. I think that Dejanay kind of missed the mark on that one.
And I do kind of hate this for Neil Ivey because I think that she's a tremendous coach. I thought she was a great player. I know that a lot of people had things to say about maybe some of her coaching decisions in the postseason. Yeah. I don't know how they went from the top team to falling in the Elite Eight. Or did they even make it to the Elite Eight? Or did they go to Sweet 16?
I told you I was tapped out. So I told you women's college basketball tournament don't really start till the Elite Eight. It really doesn't. Like it really doesn't matter until you get to the Elite Eight. But that team has been decimated because of 1, graduation, and 2, because of the transfer portal. And there's some whispers out of Notre Dame that perhaps Hannah Hidalgo, the star freshman this year, is maybe not the easiest person to play with. I don't know how true that is, but there are some people who maybe feel that way. I don't know. So now you have the opportunity though to build around this very dynamic freshman and build and bring some pieces in who maybe will be better suited to exist or coexist with a star player like Hannah, who is a little bit of a loose cannon on the court. She does what she does.
I have seen. I need to get off the TikToks. I have seen on TikTok that she was trending along with the girl from TCU. What's the girl's name? The Prince girl. The tall girl.
Okay.
They're big.
What about her?
I think that maybe she had some SA allegations, and so people have been talking about that on I know. A few of them. At every school. At every school she's been to, she's had women come out and say that they were assaulted.
The girl from TCU?
Yes. And Hannah has come out. I think Hannah allegedly has said some homophobic things, according to TikTok. This is what the people are saying on TikTok, and that is why nobody like her.
Well, why are we not talking about that? I want to learn because we talk. No, hell no. Because if it was a male athlete who was accused of SA, we would be doing a deep dive. Why did you see? Okay. I don't like that. Why did you not bring that to the table today?
Okay, because I don't think that anything is new, right? I think that so I don't know if you remember, but during the tournament early on, there was like a clip of TCU dancing after they had won. And I think her name is Sedona. Is her name Sedona Prince? Mm-hmm. Sedona Prince, that's her name. And when you type in Sedona Prince on Google, it says Sedona Prince drama is the first thing that comes up. Anyway, she's 24 years old. She's 6'7", by the way, too. So she was like dancing, and everybody on the team kind of just looked at her like, girl, sit down. So that went viral on TikTok. And so then people started to just dig into her past, into allegations. And again, she's had several allegations when she was at Baylor, when she was at Texas, and then of course now she's at TCU. And so she's had a few former girlfriends come out and say that she has forced themselves on them.
Yeah. I don't, Samaria, do you think it's right that this is not a story that's being covered?
I mean, okay, if I had brought it to you, Rodney, and been like, oh, this is what the girls are talking about on TikTok, you'd have been like,
no, I wouldn't. See, what?
But I just thought, okay, honestly, Rodney, for real, I thought it was old. Like, I really thought it was old. Like, old news. Like, I didn't think that anybody was, like, I thought I was late to the drama. because
Hey,
it
hey,
says
man.
from wait. From Yahoo Sports from February 12th, it says TCU star Sedona Prince facing multiple allegations of sexual and physical abuse. So that was from February 12th. I just now saw it. Like I don't know why they got swept under the rug, but I didn't see that.
Last year in the NCAA tournament, there was a gentleman that played for Illinois, one of the best players in all of college basketball. His name was Terence Shannon Junior, who is now a member of the Minnesota Timberwolves. He had to sue for the ability to be a part of Illinois' NCAA tournament run. Right, he had to sue to get back on the team because there was an allegation made against him. The university told him that he could no longer be a part of the program, and he literally had to go to court and fight to be reinstated to his team and program. And so we talk often about when men are accused of certain things and the recourse and how we should handle these sorts of things. This is a story that I have not heard about, but trust and believe. Had this been a member of any of the Final Four teams that are in the men's NCAA tournament, there would be a huge firestorm. And as someone who myself was a victim of sexual abuse as a child by the hands of a woman, I can tell you that men and women are handled very differently when these accusations are being made. And I do not think it's fair. I don't think it's right. I wish we would have really dove into this topic and we would have decided this is a story we wanted to talk about. But now I want to do my own research and due diligence because I want to know more about this situation. So we can leave it there, but just know.
I'm sorry about
I
that.
wish you
But
would have
yeah, I
talked
thought
about
I
this.
was late on it. So I was like, dang, we missed it because nobody's really talking about it anymore. But
But
yeah,
that's
I do
because
hate that. And
let
I
me just
think,
say I'm gonna say this, and I do not care about the backlash because when Black women decide to talk about things, like when y'all are like, when something bothers y'all and y'all want to talk about it, y'all have the ability to really drive conversation. And so you, as a beautiful Black woman, brilliant in media, deciding that, you felt late to the story, that you didn't want to cover it, I think doesn't help the opportunity for us to protect other victims of this potential predator.
I agree. And I would like for us to talk about this next week if possible, because I do
Okay.
think that there's a huge narrative, especially within the LGBTQIA plus community, especially when there's two women that maybe DV isn't taken seriously because the notion is y'all both women. So
I saw somebody who had been accused and tried, I believe, in the case about DV, be traded for the Death Merchant. Let's wrap this up. Let's wrap
Rodney
this
and
up.
I just went all the way left. I don't know how we started out talking about Olivia Miles to Hannah Hidalgo to Sedona Prince. I promise you all we're going to get back to that next week. But we want to know from you about Olivia Miles. We want to hear from you. Please let us know, what did you make of her decision not only to forego going to the WNBA draft or entering the draft, but also entering the transfer portal and deciding to leave Notre Dame? Let us know in the comments.